midst of the Chanukah holiday, and we've gotten all caught up in lighting the candles, it's worthwhile to contemplate that there's another time when there's a mitzvah to light candles, and that's every Friday night. And indeed, here we are approaching Erev Shabbat Chanukah, and we're all going to both light Chanukah candles as well as Shabbat candles. The Talmud raises an interesting question. What happens when, God forbid, someone doesn't have the means to light more than one candle on a particular night, specifically on Shabbat Chanukah? Should he light the Chanukah candle, or should he light the Shabbat candle? Now there are two practical differences, the first obviously being what bracha should he make, but more essentially is the following difference. The Shabbat candles are lit for the purpose of what's called Shalom Bayit, to bring peace and tranquility in the home, so that we'll have light, to be able to see by, to be able to enjoy our meal, and to see everything that's happening in the house. The Chanukah candles, in contrast to this, are not allowed to be used. We're not allowed to make use of the light of the Chanukah candles. And so the Talmud asks, when we have the ability to light only one candle on Shabbat Chanukah, should it be the Shabbat candle, which we're allowed to make use of, or should it be the Chanukah candle, which we're not allowed to use at all? The Talmud rules that it's very simple. We should light the Shabbat candle, because Shalom Bayit is so important. And it's so valuable that we're going to have light within our house to be able to see, rather than to publicize the mitzvah of Chanukah. The Mishnah Berurah, the Chafetz Chaim, in his commentary to the Shulchan Aruch, adds a very interesting point. That in this day and age, when we light the Chanukah candles inside the home, as many people do, then it in fact is enough to light just the Chanukah candle. And that will suffice for both the Chanukah candle as well as the Shabbat candle. But the interesting question must be asked, how can the Chanukah candle be used instead of the Shabbat candle? The Chanukah candle is prohibited in use. We're not allowed to derive any benefit from the light of the Chanukah candle. How then can we use the Chanukah candle as a Shabbat candle? And I believe if we contemplate this, there's a very deep meaning to this ruling. And that is, the goal of the Chanukah candle is to publicize the miracle of Chanukah. The miracle of Chanukah being a celebration of our ability to celebrate and to perform our own rites, our own rituals, our own traditions, and to fulfill our own Torah. The Greeks didn't want to destroy us physically. They wanted us to assimilate amongst them. They wanted us to revoke our claims to the Torah, our claims to our tradition and our past and our customs. The victory of the Maccabean over the Greeks and the celebration of Chanukah is just that we're able to conquest all those forces trying to take away our rights to our Torah, our connection with God, and our connection to our traditions. There are times when we're able to celebrate and declare our ideals out on the streets in the public domain. That would be a time when Pirsumei Nisan is effective in full force. When we light the Chanukah outside and we enlighten the night with the lights of Chanukah, with the celebratory lights which declare our connection with God, with the Torah, with our traditions. But there are times where that outward declaration is so difficult. Where then do we derive our strengths from in those times of intense darkness, where we're not able to outwardly express our belief and our traditions and our identity? The power comes from within. The power comes from the home. The power comes from how much we pass on our traditions, our parents to children. How much Shalom Bayit are we able to create? How much are we able to allow for the values of Judaism to penetrate the Jewish home? For everyone sitting around the Shabbat table to be able to see. And so when we light the Chanukah candle in these dire times, when we cannot have an outward declaration of the celebratory candles of Chanukah, of the Pirsumei Nisa, of the miracle of Chanukah, then within our home, the Chanukah lights ignite our spirit, ignite our faith, and indeed ignite our Shalom Bayit, ignite the connection from one generation to the next, and ignite and enlighten the quality of the atmosphere within the Jewish home. And from there we gain the strength to be able to go public with our Pirsumei Nisa. From within the home, we're able to propel outwards and declare our great ideals. May we all gain inspiration from the Chanukah lights, the inspiration of Pirsumei Nisa, the inspiration of Shalom Bayit, the inspiration of our traditions, of Jewish ideals, our unique connection with God, our unique connection with the Torah. Shabbat Shalom and Chanukah Sameach.